Welcome to Shem Golf Academy channel. As I mentioned earlier in a previous video, I've had a great pleasure of attending a US Kids coaches training, and it's the best thing I've done in a while in terms of advancing my career as a coach. As most of you know, I'm already certified, so this makes it the second certification for coaching. So I'm looking forward to serving you more. Today I want to talk to John here from US Kids to tell us a little bit about the other side of US Kids, equipment and tournaments. All right, I will let John introduce himself, but before I do that, I want to say thank you again to KLGU, KGU, JGF, and the government for making sure that this program actually kicks off and coming into partnerships with US Kids. I think this is a game changer in Kenya and in Africa in general. I think it's the first country you're doing it in Kenya, if I'm not wrong, in Africa, if I'm not wrong.
Well, we did training in South Africa, but it wasn't anything as
like this.
No.
So before we go on, introduce yourself.
So I'm John Bryan. I'm the Vice President of the US Kids Golf Foundation's Coaches Institute. I've been with the organization now for, 17 years, which is hard to believe.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. How have you liked Kenya?
I've loved Kenya. I mean, honestly, anytime you travel outside of the States, you kind of wonder, we're probably all a little bit more comfortable traveling to Europe because more people look like us, or Canada or something like that. And so anytime you go to another continent that you're not familiar with or as familiar with, you wonder what it's going to be like. I've dealt with a couple of Kenyans, Emmanuel Casillo specifically, who's been to our program. And I know how warm and personable and caring he is, and I expected others to be the same way here, and absolutely they have been.
Welcome, welcome. So, I've talked to Jim about the pathway program and the long leaf tee system. Mm-hmm. I know US Kid does more than just coaching, and you are heavily invested in making sure that kids have the right equipment for the game.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about the importance of that? And anything you want to talk about junior golf and equipment and what US Kid does with that.
So, the genesis of our company was with Dan Van Horn, our president and founder, who took his boys out to play golf at a golf course in the States, and they were given cut down golf clubs. And when they took those out, they had adult weighted heads. The shafts were shorter, but that just made them stiffer. And so the result of that is you end up having to pick up the club when you're a junior golfer, and not making a shoulder rotation and swinging through the ball. You're actually more or less chopping at it. And so Dan's an engineer and an entrepreneur, and he kind of looked at that and said, well, why is it that nothing's been kind of customized or tailored, or we call it scaled, for kids in terms of their golf equipment? Because he was also coaching baseball at the same time. And in baseball in the U.S., we had lightweight aluminum bats, and the kids could make a swing, that looked like a Major League Baseball player. So Dan took that, concept and said, what is there to be done? And it really felt like it was a personal passion and calling in his life to do something about that, for not only for his own kids, but for kids worldwide. So we've always been about properly fit equipment over the course of years. We've done research. We believe that the driver for a child should be no more than 2/3 of their height. We call it the 2/3 solution. So that's somewhere between their belly button or their navel and their sternum. And the driver should fit somewhere in here. And then all of the other clubs obviously would be shorter underneath that. Where did we get that 2/3 solution from? We got it from looking at the data from the LPGA Tour and the PGA Tour. And we kind of took the average between those two and came up with that 2/3 solution. So the length is a key component, but then beyond that, you have to look at the shaft. They need to be more flexible for kids. You need to have more loft in the drivers, the smaller they are, and the less club head speed they have. But as they grow, the shaft needs to be longer, the grip needs to be larger, the head weight can be heavier, and all of that goes into making clubs that really work for kids.
Wonderful. So basically you are saying, for a child, having the right set for them is very important, and most importantly, a light club will enable a child to learn how to swing faster.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We believe in light and short versus longer and heavier. So the tendency for a lot of parents you know, they're used to buying apparel or clothing for their kids that are a little bit big, and they say, well, they'll grow into it. Well, that's fine where you know, apparel is concerned, but when you're trying to learn a sport, that equipment, if it's a little bit too big, a little bit too heavy, you know, whatever that sport is, you're not going to be able to make the proper motion. And that's what happens, you're able to achieve that when you have golf clubs that are properly fit, so to where they're shorter and lighter than what a lot of times we see parents having for their kids.
Wonderful, wonderful. And the wonderful news when it comes to equipment, I know this is a big issue in Kenya, is that you have come into terms with a distributor, so very soon,
right,
parents will be able to buy US Kids golf kits in Kenya.
That's right. So yes, we have a distributor here. Regina is going to be distributing our products within Kenya. I don't know the last time we had products here, but they'll be available here hopefully early in 2022.
Wonderful, wonderful. The other component of US Kid is tournaments. Tell us, what's the importance of tournaments when kids are learning the game,
right,
and the plans for US Kids and tournaments in Kenya?
Right. So, you know, just you know, imagine any sport where all you do is practice, but you never actually play or get on the field. So that's one of the key components in what we're going to be offering here in Kenya. Again, through the KGU, there's going to be a regional tournament, and then there are going to be local tour events, so that we can get the kids involved in the game, because that's really where you develop a passion for playing and participate in the game for life.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know personally in 2019 I took some kids to a US Kids tournament in South Africa. So it's a great opportunity for Kenyan golfers and kids to be able to have a US Kids tournament in Kenya.
Right.
So we look forward to this partnership. Again, thank you to KLGU, KGU, JGF, and the Kenyan government and the sponsors that have made this possible. And I think we are yet to see great things in golf in Kenya.
We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, Shem. Good to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.